Well, I gotta talk about the new Dual Ignition Swordsoul and the new Dual Ignition Hero decks. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So we're going to start off over here with Dual Ignition Hero. Now, for those of you that don't know, I've already seen a couple comments from the standard day going, wow, I can't wait to get this new hero deck and open it. And I have to be the bearer of bad news every single time we have one of these products coming out into the open. Yes, this is an English edition, but it is presented for Asia. All right, this is Asian English. I too wish that we could get a hero deck straight out of the box. I think a lot of people look at these sorts of products for the level of ease of convenience. All right, if you could go out to Walmart, for example, and you can buy a whole hero deck for $10 straight off the shelf, then a lot of people are like, oh, you know why TCG players have an issue with this sort of product? Because they're like, oh, I have to go on TCG Player and I have to buy out all the parts. The hero cards themselves might be incredibly cheap and might look, super easy to afford. But the problem is people want that ease of just being able to buy it. Like, I am truly amazed by this mentality of the player base, all right? And I think it's always weird, especially when I'm dealing with people, they're like, hey, I want to buy all of these cards, but I want them to come from one seller. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, if I have everything except for 1 to 2 cards, you don't want to buy any of that for me because you want it to come from one person. That whole mentality is so weird to me that they really just, and this proves to me that this is an active marketing scheme out here that Konami can actually use to entice you to want to play the game, because people don't want to spend money on the little side projects. They're like, oh, hey, I want to play some heroes, or I want to play some tabletop with friends today. I can go pick up this hero deck for literally the $10. It's all bundled up, and the standard competitive player is going to look at this product and they're going to go, this is dog shit. I don't want this. All right. Who would spend $10 on this? Meanwhile, it's the duality of this. All right. The casual player looks at how easy this is to get. The competitive player is like, oh, there's no point to this. I can just go buy all of this cheaper. But that's not how this situation works right now. And this is why those Blue Eyes and Dark Magician decks were so incredibly popular on the Asian English side and actually on our side of the game. A lot of people looked at those Blue Eyes decks initially and they were like, hey, these are garbage. Like, who wants these? And you know how many people in my comment section was constantly going, wow, I can't believe they're not actually releasing these for us. All right. You have to see both sides of the argument out here. And I do think a hero product like this, I think if Konami made something like this, especially like look at the Tactical Tri-3 decks, for example, especially heroes have notoriety, all right? If you slap all these hero cards in a $10 box, and as long as you got maybe 1 to 2 good reprints out here, it'll probably sell relatively well. All right, that's just the situation. But if you're somebody that's like, oh, I can't wait to go pick up my new hero deck for $10. It's not legal in the TCG. I'm sorry to tell you that. It has an Asian English card backing to it. It literally invalidates the card. It is not legal whatsoever. But if you are a hero fan and you like collecting and you want to, buy this, just prop it up on a display case and show that you are the coolest hero player in the world, it's fine. I also don't think that out of the box, I can't imagine this being a super solid, product. I did see Liquid Soldier was getting a reprint in this, which is kind of cool overall, but this feels like it's another marketing tie-in with Master Duel, which is fine. Like, you got to use those products to push things like Master Duel, hey, you can buy this Master Duel. Now you can buy this in real life as well. Now, I also want to talk about the Swordsoul one here. Now, this one is going to be the more competitive one straight out of the box. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to me about this. And I believe, once again, that this one is going to be more tied in on the marketing side of things from Master Duel. All right, Master Duel had that entire return campaign. They were like, hey, we want you guys to come back. We want you to play this game. Maybe you were AFK for a while. Well, we're going to give you some Swordsoul cards, and we're going to give you the chance to do it. And that's actually what the OCG actually did here, was they printed that new 10 Yi card that allows you to cheat out the Link 4 from the extra deck for what, paying 4,000 life points, for example. I think that idea, the fact that Konami says, hey, we acknowledge the fact that Master Duel is printing players, all right? They are printing, new customers, but we need to do something for the players that are, maybe more financially challenged. So printing a structure deck like this, that it was basically, you get everything handed to you for 10, you get everything handed to you for, whatever the price point is. I'm going to continue to use the $10 price point out here. If you got the Master Duel campaign for Swordsoul, and you can, once again, if we could walk into Walmart and spend $10 for this would be a lot more enticing. But on the same side of that equation, once again, the TCG players are going to complain about this. They're going to be like, wow, I can't believe that, this $10 structure deck of, 10 Yi Swordsoul, this is worthless. It's not even a competitive deck. Who would buy this? And once again, I mean, you have the hero duelist that just walked out here, picked up the hero deck and was like, Swordsoul 10 Yi, I've heard about this deck on Master Duel. Master Duel's selling power does in fact exist, people. I'm telling you this. Unfortunately, when you're transitioning this from the OCG to the TCG, you lose a lot of the selling power because, unfortunately, the TCG is not the OCG on this, all right? But I'm telling you, if the TCG were to make something like those tactical Try-3 decks for the price points that they were, and, actually be fruitful and upfront with us, also, come to point out here, the TCG has not had a structure deck this year. What was it? Fire King was November of the 2023. Blue Eyes isn't until 2025, February. The entirety of 2024 was without a structure deck product. I want to point that out to you, which is insane to be thinking about out here because, OCG had Tactical Try. Asian English has these dual ignition decks, which are just printing money, by the way. These are just being able to get new players into the game in mass like this for such a cheap price point is so good. Like, I got to give props to Asian English. They are killing it out here with these products. This is the sort of stuff that you need to be looking at out here. But the problem is the TCG needs to print things in such larger quantities that printing things like this just isn't really viable. Like, that's the downside of it. If you could print, a smaller scale of these, and, every Walmart, I guess, having these, the Hero one would sell. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Hero is in the same category as Dark Magician and Blue Eyes. It will do well. Swordsoul would have an issue trying to get off of the shelves for sure. But the argument here is more products like this need to be made. We need to have more things like this existing because we need to be able to get players into the game, and Konami needs to see this. But these decks are not legal. They, at least in the US, Canada, where Konami, NA, or Europe, overseas, because of the card back, you need to have that fresh English card back if you're trying to play these. But I got to give you credit, Konami. These are looking pretty cool. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.